Has artificial intelligence now reached the place where the photos it creates are so good that it's actually next to impossible to see whether they are real or not? Well, in this video we're gonna sit down and take a closer look at it, see what all the fuss is about, and see whether this, is actually
threatening our entire photography industry,
Alright, so we'll be using Midjourney for this, and they just released a new version, the 5.1, and it's pretty sick. I'll start by showing you a few prompts I've been playing around with to generate pictures of people that, I don't know what to say. It's just crazy to me what you can do here. And then I'll also show you how you can use ChatGPT to come up with prompts for you, and then it just gets like way out of hand. But first thing first is glasses, and yeah. Anywho, by typing in /imagine, we can make a prompt. So if you've never seen Midjourney before, basically you can write this prompt and you can go crazy. You can write whatever thing you want and just let your imagination, roam freely. And this is what they came up with, and I mean, this is just this is just getting pretty nuts. Sometimes I feel like the skin is a little bit too plasticky, but like this one here, it could easily be, a real person. And look at the hair. It's just so realistic. I mean, when it comes to landscape photos, these AI bots have been pretty good at it for now a little while, like there's almost no way to see if it's a real landscape or not. But lately, the people have also become extremely good. And I found that in order for me to try to create, realistic photos that actually look real, I have to write in prompts that, give specify what camera I'm using. For instance, here you can see I'm using Sony a7 IV, a Sigma 85mm. These are like real lenses. And then I'm telling, f1.4 to get that shallow depth of field. And then I'm not sure if this, I don't really know what I'm actually doing. I'm just playing around with it here. But I found that these commands, especially when you specify what camera it uses, it's really good. And also, if you specify what type of shot it is, So basically what I'm trying to say is that I've actually noticed that I'm able to get more realistic results if I am specific about what type of shot I'm going for. For example, I've been playing around with prompts like close-up, mid-range, wide-angle, bird's-eye view, panoramic, portraits, headshot, and a few more. I think you get the point, right? So by doing the AR command, it means aspect ratio, so you can choose whatever aspect ratio you want. Let's just do 4:5, because that's like Instagram aspect ratio, And then of course version 5.1, the latest one. And here with this command here, I'm actually telling the machine, the AI, to use a Kodak Porta 400 film roll. And I found that if you go a little bit more retro and vintage, it might actually turn out to look a little bit more realistic in a way. And in my experience, the more towards the film direction I go, the more natural the skin becomes. Sometimes when you go to use these ultra realistic commands, the skin is a little bit plasticky. But if we add a little bit of film grain, we tell it to use a Kodak Porta, then it actually turns out pretty cool. And look at these. This could be Is this threatening our industry? This is so ridiculous. Let's do a few more, One thing I've noticed now after playing around with this for, I don't know, I'm not a professional anyway. I've probably played 10 hour plus on this. That is often really similar look to the girls, to the photos, but this is the first versions of this, Imagine what you can do in the future. Anywho, the possibilities are endless, and it's become like an art form to try to just figure out how you should prompt correctly. I've been playing around with these cyberpunk photos, and they look sick, and it's just so fun to see how creative you can get, But one little prompt I found that actually creates photos that are really realistic is when you go to the Polaroid. So for instance, we can go /imagine and just write brother and sister playing in a yard. Let's do that. And we go early 2000s and flash photography. Am I spelling this correctly? Fast photography. Polaroid. And then we just go V1.5. All right. And as soon as you start to introduce Polaroid photography, then I think it's just, it becomes so hard to see if it's real or not. And yeah, here are the results. And as you can see, can you see the difference? I think when you're using Polaroid, then it becomes the skin is just much better there, that it really becomes hard. And I've been playing around with the Polaroid command on a few photos, and turns out pretty good in my opinion. But in all honesty, I would love to hear like your thoughts. Do you think this is like super easy to spot that this is not a real photo? And also, what do you just think about this entire thing with artificial intelligence entering our photography world? To me, I think it's really exciting. I'm playing around with this, but I also think it's a little bit scary, and I do understand that, like, especially if you're into product photography, that might be a little bit, could it be obsolete? I don't know, only time will tell. But as said before, you can use ChatGPT, which is an AI chatbot, to come up with the prompts for you that you then feed into Midjourney, which is an AI image generator that might actually supercharge what this is capable of doing. And this I learned from a channel called Samson Wolf's Delightful Design. Highly recommend it, and I'll link the video in the description down below. But basically what you want to do is to teach ChatGPT what you want to do. So we are telling it here, I want you to act as a prompt engineer. You will help me write prompts for an AI art generator, and then exactly what it should be doing, all right? And I'll leave this entire prompt in the description down below, so you can just copy and paste it. Then what it will do, it will, use these brackets. There is no need for brackets, so you can just rewrite without brackets. And once you have this, you can just have fun and let your imagination totally roam freely and ask ChatGPT to create whatever you wanted to create, and it will come up with the prompts for you. For the sake of the tutorial, it just went simple and did like street photography in Berlin. And all you have to do then is just to take one of them, and it creates two because you asked it to create two, and we take one of them and just copy like this, and then we go back into Discord, we type /imagine, and then we just paste it in. And here you can do the aspect ratio command if you want. We can do like 3:2, and then we use the newest version 5.1, and then you press enter. So here we came up with the colorful ones, and I think, I'm always stunned by how good this has become, Now, it's not perfect. I feel that sometimes when you're playing around with it, it like has a hard time with the hands. The hands can come, a little bit weird. And there are some weird things that become, like portions of people can be weird, but it's getting better and better. And here we have another command where we use the like black and white photos. And they honestly, like, it's sick. I have a black and white photo in the kitchen here in the studio, and this could easily be like an AI generated photo compared to the photos that we have up here, They're so similar. Now, in all honesty, I think it's safe to say that this is a fascinating technology, and I can definitely see where the use cases are for it. But is it a like real threat for us photographers? In my opinion, I don't really think so. I mean, photography didn't kill painting, and video didn't kill radio, and so on and so on. This is just a new thing that is here, and it's like we should get used to it. And I think if you want to, you should learn it. If not, like, who cares?